Hey guys, it's Jenna. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing the Christmas song book tag. So I was scrolling through some Christmassy holiday themed book tags and I decided on doing this one. I wanted to do some sort of Christmassy themed video this month. So here we are. I kind of decided to do this at the last minute in the evening, so I lost all my light super quickly as I was just setting up to film a video. So lighting's a little bit different, hope you don't mind. But let's just get into this book tag. These questions are based on Christmas songs, and then it asks you to pick a book to kind of match that song. And the first question is based on the song You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, and it asks you to choose a villainous character that you can't help but love. And I am going with Delilah Bard from the Shades of Magic series. This is A Gathering of Shadows, which is book 2 in the series by V.E. Schwab, and I highly recommend this series. I've only read the first 2 books with Robin over at the Driftless Reader and Kelsey from Hardback Haven. We are really enjoying this. Book 2 really opened up a lot more doors in this world, and I have so many questions, and I'm really hoping that book 3, A Conjuring of Light, will answer those questions. We'll get to that one eventually, but Delilah Bard is a thief pirate who is just awesome. I honestly didn't care for her that much at first. She kind of annoyed me, but in the end, I grew to like her, and she ends up saving the day a lot of the time, like towards the end of this storyline between these 2 books. So Delilah Bard is my villainous character because she does some villainous things, but I love her in the end. Question 2 is All I Want for Christmas Is You. What book do you most hope to see under your Christmas tree this year? And mine, I am going with The Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden. This is the 2nd book in the Bear and the Nightingale series. And this is an adult fantasy Russian folklore novel series that is just magical and wintry and amazing. I love The Bear and the Nightingale. I read it earlier on this year. Highly recommend it. And this is the 2nd book. It's coming out in January, so it's not going to be under my Christmas tree because it won't be out in time, but it's also not really answering the question either because I would prefer the paperback version, which is going to come out even later than the hardback. So it's not really answering that question, but it is my most anticipated book right now. Question number 3 is based on the song Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and it wants you to pick a name a character that overcomes major obstacles and learns to believe in themselves. And I am picking Eleanor Oliphant by Is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. And Eleanor is an interesting character. She definitely has to overcome a lot of obstacles, mostly mentally. She has a lot of things that went down in her past that are slowly revealed throughout the story to reveal to the reader why she is the way that she is, because she has trouble getting along with people, relating to people, and you find out why, and she forms friendships that are just absolutely heartwarming, and she becomes very endearing towards the end of the story, and I loved this. Like I said, I finished it last night and I gave it 5 stars. Highly recommend that. The next question is number 4, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Which character do you think would be on top of the naughty list, and which character do you think would be at the top of the nice list? So at the top of the naughty list is Jane Steele, and this is the book Jane Steele by Lindsay Fay. I read this, goodness, when did I read this? I think it was October. It was all right. I gave it 4 stars, and I just talked about this in my fall wrap-up, and I was kind of rambly in that video as to what I thought about this book. It ultimately disappointed me. I was expecting it to be a 5-star read, and it ended up being probably a 3.5. But the main character of Jane Steele, her life is sort of based on the story of Jane Eyre, only Jane Steele is a serial killer. So that's why she's on the top of the naughty list for sure. And this book might be on my naughty list because I was just kind of disappointed with it. It's basically a retelling of Jane Eyre, only this Jane is a serial killer. Sounds awesome, right? But for me, if it would have not acknowledged the existing story of Jane Eyre. And if it would have been its own completely separate story, like a straight up retelling, I think it would have been more successful in my opinion. However, the main character, Jane Steele, constantly talks about, oh, I love Jane Eyre, I love Jane Eyre. She never really explains why, or at least I didn't catch that. And it's just, why is her life so similar? I'm not gonna get into this again. I already did this in my fall wrap up. I already went back and forth with myself in that video, but just know that I do recommend this. I enjoyed it. It has good writing and a good storyline. If you like Jane Eyre, you might like this. But I was a tad disappointed, that's all. So Jane Steele's at the top of the naughty list. And Matthew Cuthbert from Anne of Green Gables is at the top of the nice list. I read Anne of Green Gables for the first time this year, and I loved it. I fell in love with it. It's fantastic, and it's just so sweet, and it brought me a lot of joy, and I just love it when a book can do that for me. But Matthew Cuthbert, here he is right here. He is the brother of Marilla Cuthbert, and these older siblings end up taking on this orphan, Anne of Green Gables. You're probably familiar with this, but just in case you aren't, they just take on Anne as an orphan, and they raise her up, and it's just a wonderful story. Matthew is the nicest, just the way that he loves Anne, and his quiet, sweet demeanor just really touches my heart. The next question is question number 5. It's Frosty the Snowman, and it says to name a book that melted your heart. And I am going with, getting a little deep here, I'm going with Abba's Child by Brennan Manning. I was going through a couple of rough weeks after my grandfather passed away this July. And for one, the Chronicles of Narnia audiobooks really helped me. But then right after I finished Narnia, I picked up this book. And it's a Christian nonfiction living type of book. And it really, I'm going to have to read it again because I kind of read it in a whirlwind and I need to process it a little bit more. But just know that it just really touched my heart, and it really examines God's love for you, and it talks about the heart's deepest desire for longing and why that is and how we can really relate that to the Lord. So I'm picking that one because it did melt my heart. Question number 6 is Feliz Navidad. Choose a book that takes place in a country other than your own. And I struggled to find some answers for this one. I don't know why. But I'm choosing The Bookshop on the Corner by Jenny Colgan. I've used this in a couple of tags. It's kind of one of my go-to books for tags. I should probably find some more, but this is a cute little story about a librarian who loses her job and who starts a mobile bookshop in Scotland, and it's very sweet, very cute. I tabbed a couple of quotes in here that were just super cute. It wasn't life-changing in any way, but it was definitely a good pick-me-up. I do remember that. So if you're looking for something light, fluffy, and for book lovers, I would highly recommend that. Question number 7 is, it's the most wonderful time of the year. What holiday-themed book do you use to spread the Christmas joy? And I don't really read holiday-themed books. I really would like to read A Christmas Carol sometime before the end of the year. But the only one that I could think of was specifically The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in the Chronicles of Narnia series. It has just a very touching Christmas scene whenever, I don't want to give away anything. It's not really giving anything big away, but when winter is finally ending and Christmas is finally brought back to Narnia, Father Christmas comes back and he gives gifts to the Pevensey siblings, and I just love that scene with Father Christmas, so I'm going to say that one. Question number 8 is Sleigh Ride. Which fictional character would you choose to spend the holidays with? And it does not have to be love interest. I didn't pick a love interest. I thought of one group and then one individual character. The individual character that I think would be lovely to spend Christmas with is Sarah Crewe from A Little Princess. I can't remember if there is a Christmas scene in this book or not. I feel like there is. It's been a while since I've read it, and it's been a while since I've seen the movie. But I just feel like little Sarah she's just so dreamy and passionate. She actually reminds me a little bit of Anne from Anne of Green Gables, just a little bit. But I just think she would be so lovely to have around Christmas time. And then I also thought, very different set of characters here, I also thought that the dwarven party from The Hobbit would be super fun to have around during Christmas, because they just are loud and fun, and we would eat a lot, and we would sing and play music, and then it would just be super cool to have Bilbo, Gandalf, and all the dwarves in my house. Maybe. Now that I think about it, it's probably not the best idea, but it sounds fun anyway. The next question is, baby, it's cold outside. Which book that you didn't like would you sacrifice to a fire to warm yourself up in the cold? And I don't think I would really do this, but literally, but the books that I think of that I didn't really enjoy, The Handmaid's Tale comes to mind, by Margaret Atwood. I appreciated it, but I didn't love it as much as everybody else seems to. And then I didn't really enjoy The Deep by Nick Cutter, which is a horror novel that was just so gross, and I just did not really like that. It was all right. The first half was really thrilling and very engaging, but then after that it got really weird really fast, and I did not really like the ending. So I'm gonna say those. And then the last question is question number 10. It's based on the song Do You Hear What I Hear? And it asks you, which book do you think everyone should read? And I have a few books that I always use as answers for these types of questions. But I am going with A Man Called Ove for this question. And you probably know all about this. It's about a crotchety old man that learns to love and see life a little bit differently with the help of a next door neighbor. And it's just amazing. Uva's one of the best characters I think I've ever read about, and I'm not gonna ramble on about it anymore. If you're interested in it, I would highly recommend it. 5-star read for me, for sure. So that was it. That is the Christmas song book tag. I'm actually not going to tag anybody specific because we're running out of time in December. Honestly, there's only 9 days till Christmas, or 8 days. I can't remember. Anyway, it's just, people are busy and everybody has different schedules and stuff, so I'm not going to tag anybody so nobody feels pressure to do this before Christmas. But if you liked this tag and you want to do it yourself, I tag you. And if you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and definitely subscribe if you want to see more bookish content from me. That's it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.